Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is 𝗤𝗏𝗙 𝗖𝗓𝗏. We have this special session because a lot has happened in the last few days, and let's welcome 𝗤𝗏𝗙 𝗖𝗓𝗏. 𝗤𝗏𝗙, Namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you, sir? 𝗤𝗏𝗙, we just spoke.
Namaste, ji, namaskar, ji. Doing very well, thank you. Very good morning to you. I didn't want to give you a scare, so sorry. I had to just step away from a screen. Good, very good.
No
looking
worries.
forward, Sriji.
Let's start with the slide deck, please. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, Iran hid uranium. Who helped? Well, I think it's becoming very, very obvious and very clear that there's only one country which could have helped, which helped Iran to hit the uranium, and that's China. China is very heavily reliant on two things. One is the oil, and second, they do not want to have any kind of contamination, any issues, and any blockage of Straits of Hormuz. So therefore, they decided, okay, we have to give a win-win kind of a situation. So they hit the uranium. They gave the victory to Trump and Israel by saying they launched on all these kinds of sites and no radiation. And then within 72 hours, there's a compromise that is reached. Iran claims victory. Israel claims victory. And obviously, Qataris have played a big role. They also got the US base in Qatar was targeted. And now for President Trump to come out and basically say, hey, we are going to allow Iranian oil to flow through and China can buy it, it's almost like, what can I say? It's a cooked up game. And so President can claim victory, Trump can claim victory. Hey, I bombed the hell out of them. We have heard this before in prior US wars, and we have taken everything out. Well, what did you take out? You dropped a lot of bombs, and you probably also gave a bailout to Khomeini, which is to say there will be no regime change. You can continue to ship oil to China. And I think China has done some good deed for you. And what has it done for Netanyahu? Netanyahu needs an exit because this is not a war that's going to finish. He said, oh, you can claim victory and Iran can claim victory. And now let us sit down. And as we speak, there was a call between President Trump, Marco Rubio, with Netanyahu and one of his deputies, ministers, to say, hey, now this is over. No more kind of violations. We need to get all these countries into West Asia Accord. So he wants to bring Iran. He wants to bring Syria. He wants to bring Kuwait. He wants to bring Israel. And he wants to have a compromise between Netanyahu, Israel, and Hamas. I don't want to drop the big statement, but we'll wait for a day. For the first time, even Trump and Netanyahu discussed a two-state solution. So this all looks like a fait accompli. And why they played this game, maybe Trump needed a momentous kind of a victory, but the whole thing is just abysmal, Sriji, abysmal.
Sir, let me give you an alternative narrative, sir. One of the things is that there is another place like Fordo, very close to Natanz. Remember, Natanz is the place which has occupancy. It can accommodate up to 50,000 centrifuge machines, and they had operating when it was taken down 15,000. Besides Natanz, about 100 or within 100 kilometers, there's an even deeper nuclear stockpile that America will have to invent a new bomb to take that one out. That's the claim. That's where much of the nuclear stockpile has been stored. And interesting that even Israel didn't know about it. We don't know about that. They have neither confirmed nor denied it. So this is the other story doing the round. The story continues to say, look, the mullahs are not in power. It is the Iranian army, not IRGC, not the Islamic Republican Guard. It's the Iranian army that is now calling the shots. They are the ones who are enforcing the ceasefire, and they have essentially taken over the governing. All these mullahs are hidden away in bunkers, too afraid to come out, and they just keep tweeting here, there, everywhere. So we are just letting things be because we are cleaning office. Right now, what it is there is very, very deep penetration of the mulladom into every facet of Iranian lives, all government departments, all sorts of stuff. So that needs to be fixed. This is the other narrative I'm hearing, sir. I'd like your thoughts on that. Then we can go to Doval's visit to CCP and also the SCO, sir.
Well, I would love to believe this other option, Sree. I would love to believe this other. Remember that Mossad and Israel were operating from inside Iran. Yes. Iran. Okay, they had a number of spies inside Iran. Okay, obviously, some of the pictures we may not be able to share for obviously because of public reasons. But the story is that I am not prepared to believe this story, which is namely that they got all this, somebody else is in charge, etc. Sree. So I'm based on all the intelligence input that I have kind of received. We stay with that line that the Chinese did help, the Qataris played a role. Also, there are question marks whether truly it was 90% enriched or whether it is 70% enriched, whether it was imminent that they are capable of producing a nuclear weapon. There's a lot of what you call as backpedaling that is going on, the level of enrichment that Iran had accomplished. Now, when you assume that, you drop all these kinds of bombs and say, oh, there's no radiation anywhere, and life is as usual, and Iran can continue to kind of refine and produce oil and continue to send in their ships, and China continue to send planes continue to land in Tehran or proximus to Tehran, sending enough kind of ammunition and weaponry for the Iranians to continue to fight. So therefore, I'm not yet prepared to concede on that story based on all the information that I've gathered, and also the information that all these negotiations that are going on. Definitely, Qatar has played a significant role. Chinese have played a significant role on the on the Iranian side, and Trump knows the game, and obviously there was an intelligence report leakage, which you are aware in US. Whether it is mischievous or true, that part of it I don't know. And all these dialogues that are going on makes me say, Sree, that we hold the storyline.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll just move on because whatever we are going to be saying to Iran could be applied to Pakistan also. Then that question comes back. What did we take out in Kirana Hills? What did we take out in Jacobabad? What did we take out in Murid? What did we take out in the Noor Khan Air Base? Is there unfinished business? So these are all questions that are swirling around. Let's jump to the next topic. Trump needed this ceasefire to go to NATO, and he gave a very blunt message, and looks like NATO for a change is listening. Over to you, sir.
Exactly. He got his 5% of GDP deal done to fund defense, to fund NATO budget. Barring Spain, all other countries have signed off. Guess what? As we complete that story, the news is breaking out in the early hours, today, that NATO is also going to buy a lot of defense equipment from America, and EU is going to buy a lot
surprises.
Of so therefore,
no
EU
surprises.
Yes, the EU is going to buy a lot of defense equipment from US. By the way, this was the stumbling point for EU to sign a deal with United States. So the tariff deal is going to be done with FTA agreement between EU as well as United States. Sree. He went out of the screen, so he'll be back. Just give us a second.
I'm back. My microphone decided to take a walk. Sorry about that. I hope you can hear me, sir. Is it okay?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. So, sir, UK deal is done. EU deal is done. West Asia Accord deal is being done. New countries, including Syria, are going to be included. The negotiation with Iran is done. And did he move the needle? He moved the needle. He said, I am the hero. I've solved Israel-Iran problem. I have potentially solved the Hamas-Israel problem. I've solved India-Pakistan problem. And so here I am. I've also done the deal. So I've got the deal done. By the way, I'm also going to get a deal done with the Chinese because they're going to get their oil. And I'm going to get supplies of rare earths.
Rare earths. Yeah.
We'll work this out. We'll work this out. And I'm going to lift the restrictions for Chinese to receive electronics as well as for them to ship. So, he walks out all of this out of post the NATO meet after the disastrous G7 meet. So here is the story that so he's moved the needle big time. He's got a EU deal, he's got a UK deal, he's got a NATO deal, and he has chided Spain. He says, don't worry about Spain, I'll get them to the table and they will fund 5%. Just as he said, I'm doing China deal, and he told Israel and Iran, hey, you can't violate ceasefire. They immediately listen. What's the deal? The deal is President Trump says there is a court case which has just come up against Netanyahu. This has been pending for a long time. It is, please, in the interests of the world, delay or withdraw this case against Netanyahu. So this is a complete deal making that has gone on. And when you look at all these unfolding events, it really is, one way you can look at it as a mockery. And if you are a President Trump supporter, you can say, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. He is making America great again. He is solving the problems, Sreeji.
So America is going gaga over MAGA. Let's leave it at that, sir. Next one, please.
Yeah. No, this is, you will begin to see lots of this stuff. When you, I don't know, I think it has already made the press. Some of these things has made the press already, Sreeji. So you can, celebrate. We all can celebrate.
Just minutes before we went live, I saw a statement saying that the deal between US and China has been signed, but no details have been released. So basically what we are saying about the 300,000 students being allowed to stay in the US, as well as unlimited supply of rare earths, this is now kind of confirmed. Beyond that, what is going on, we don't know. Sir, before the SCO started, let's dial the clock back a little bit.
Right.
A few days before that, Ajit Doval actually went to China and he had a long conversation with Wang Yi. Tell us a little bit about what happened there, sir. Then we'll come to SCO.
Well, I think the Ajit Doval and Wang Yi know each other very well. They know when there is an issue. They are the two people who need to sit down and speak. We have covered this in our old DJI. What happened in Galwan and what happened in Doklam. So he goes. He had a message. I think he was carrying a message, and the message was blunt. He knows he can deliver it to Wang Yi because they have. I don't use the word friendship, but they know how to talk to each other. He, as well as Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar. But Ajit Doval was there. He sent a very clear message. Nothing is acceptable as far as Pakistan is concerned. And you guys have given enough shelter. Please tell this to Mr. J. And in the SCO meet, our defense minister will be coming with a very clear message. And the message is very simple, that Pakistan will not be included in any of the communique. And we will make sure that, terror is an act of war. We have stated that. We will be again making a statement. And we know that you guys helped Pakistan. So therefore, you need to unwind. If SCO as well as BRICS needs to sustain, and India is an important player, and China cannot afford to forget that. That's the message that informally has gone from Mr. Doval, and he's very good at delivering these messages. And that's exactly what unfolded in SCO.
Sir, before we go to SCO, very important. Why is she skipping the BRICS summit? Turns out even Putin is skipping the BRICS summit, sir. And there is no meaning in having a summit.
It's very important to have BRICS summit because Brazil is an important player. Brazil is an important partner of India. Remember when Brazil took over the presidency, again we covered this, the first thing that the Brazil did is no more BRICS currency, no more de-dollarization. Well, all that is off the agenda under our presidency. Okay, that reverberated very well in the years of Trump because this tariffs war had started at that point of time. So therefore, so he knows that Brazil and India are very strong and very aligned in the agenda. So on top of that, Prime Minister Modi is going to be the guest of honor. He is going to be honored with a dinner, and all this BRICS leader needs to meet and be there at that. So Xi says, "I'm sorry, I am not coming. I'm not, I don't agree with some of the stuff that you guys are doing." So therefore, he has declined the invitation of the president of Brazil to attend the summit, Sree. So Modi is going to go, and Modi is going to make his statements, and Modi and Brazil or Indian Brazil are going to look very strong and very clear message coming out, and also that rings music in the ears to President Trump the way this is going. I don't think, again, this is going back to BRICS, both Russia, Iran, and Pakistan were at the SCO meet, much to the dislike of India, when simultaneously the NATO summit was going on.
Yes, indeed. And the other takeaway here is that it's not Xi, but it's Li Qiang who's going to be attending there. This could also be part of the power struggle that is going through in China. I'll give you an update on that separately, viewers, because there's still some research that is not finished. So we'll move on to the next topic. India pushes back in the SCO. Can you go back one slide, please? Okay, right. On the SCO. Stay on the SCO, please. Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, Rajnath Singh said that we are not going to sign this declaration because they did not mention Pahalgam in there, but they did mention Balochistan as if that was an act of terrorism, whereas it is an independence movement. So India had made its thoughts clear. I'm still trying to connect the dots as to why she decided to skip. Is it because of the fact that he no longer calls the shots in CCP, or is it the fact that India was going to take a very strong position that would make Xi look weak in that BRICS declaration along with Brazil, sir? One or two answers.
No,
or maybe third one.
I'm going to give you first, go back to SCO meet. The SCO meet, India wanted to include that there are nations in the neighborhood which are sponsors of state terrorism. Thus far, they have used state terrorism as a tool to continually kind of persist with their agenda. And it is China which has vetoed in United Nations, knowing which nation that is. So therefore, he made a very explicit statement pointing out that the state-sponsored terrorism is persisting to the destability of the region. So that was very clearly communicated, looking and targeting Pakistan, who were invited. Now, guess what? As the meeting finished, Mr. 𝗏𝗏, the Pakistani defense minister, made a possibly foolish, but unwarranted statement saying that China helped Pakistan with intelligence when India was attacking as part of Operation Sindoor. It's a public statement. You guys can go back and take a look at it. And that kind of ruffled further issue, because Modi is going to confront. If Modi and Xi were to meet, he's going to confront. You have your guest making the statement in your SCO meet, okay, and you still want to include them in the communique. So that's a very big statement that has come out from from the Pakistani defense minister. So that's number one. Number two, as far as Xi is skipping Brazil, is very, very clear. I don't know about the internal power struggle, which people have been, speaking for quite some time. Every time they say he's gone, every time they say something has happened, he turns up and he visits Last time we talked about this, he was in Malaysia, he was in Vietnam, he was in Cambodia, he was in Laos and went back. Okay. So the story is that he has had conversations with Trump, and he has also had conversations with the Russian president. So the only thing is his ego is wounded, and India has emerged as a third power bloc, much to the displeasure of the Chinese. That's the truth. China pummeled Pakistan, and India has pummeled Pakistan with Chinese equipment in full display, and India is playing a significant role. For example, as we speak, I think less than 48 hours ago, even the fertilizers that India is reliant on for agriculture is now banned. It's now banned. What India said?
Banned by who, sir? Banned by who, sir?
Chinese.
Okay.
75% of the agro fertilizers comes from China, which power the Indian agro farms. He says, no issues. You want to ban? No problem. We'll find alternative route and we'll alternate supply and we'll get it done.
Sir, have you heard of the concept of 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗡?
No, I have not.
Sir, 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏 is India's version of fertilizer. It is dung, cow dung, Bos indicus cow especially, cow urine. Then you use the local soil. You use good is bellam. You use that jaggery, and you also use one or two other ingredients. You mix them up and then you store them, and that becomes fertilizer. Sir, I have been doing this for 3 years now. Now I'm using my fertilizer to using it for my vegetable and fruit plants. Fantastic growth, sir. Fantastic growth. All the cows that you want to put out to pasture saying it is no longer giving milk, you can repurpose them to make 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏. I'm telling you, viewers, don't depend on any other country for India's needs. India can become self-sufficient in a jiffy like this. You need to put the mind and you need to do this thing. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is fantastic. In fact, there are some people who have done it in a way that you have, the spray guns that you use for all the imported fertilizers that we make. So this 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 also has been, you mix it with water. You can use the same spray pump, except instead of using chemical fertilizers, you use this fertilizer. So the yield is same. The only difference is now you are sourcing it yourself. India needs to really start doing some of these things on a war footing. Don't expect the government. It's your home, your cow. Don't, just because it has stop giving you milk, don't stop it. It can give you other stuff also. Cow is one of the most medicinal animals available. Anyways, I just wanted to say that. Sir, let's get back to the last topic. It's very, very important. Go to the next one, please. Main agenda for Opsindur 2. Over to you, Sree Iyerji.
Why, I'm sure that you have your view, and the data that information that I have collected tells me that during the 5 stages of Operation 1, there was significant amount of drones directed at Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and even parts of Punjab. Indian Army, Indian intelligence officials have picked up enough data, and they have basically identified that next attack is going to be on civilian and industrial complexes of India, so that the Indian economy can be disrupted. Now, obviously, there is a significant Chinese hand in this, because China is suffering in some way, but they don't bother. They believe that they can cook a deal and cut a deal with the rest of the world, including the United States, and move forward. So, who gave them the specific directive to go after the civilian and industrial and economic complexes of India? China. So they figured this. India has figured this out, and they feel that this is an unfinished business. In conjunction with, as you and I discussed prior, there are still enough terror infrastructure. So people are fed up. They want to get this done so that India can continue to focus on its business and move its agenda forward. That is the intelligence that I have gathered as far as the next phase of the project is concerned and the unfinished business.
Sir, my sincere request to all our viewers who are watching this video, look, if the enemy is playing asymmetric warfare, in other words, you take out their military targets and terror targets, and they come and target your civil target, then it is free game. You are free to open and go after anybody who is the cause of all this stuff. So who is running Pakistan? Do you think that person's name and his honchos should be listed? Make a list. Viewers, please put by way of comments. We'll make a list and we'll publish that list, and then let the government decide whether they want to go after these rascals also, scoundrels, thugs, ruffians, terrorists. These people were, sir, they were seen at the funeral procession of some of these terrorists. The army are rank and file, up and down. What kind of ethics do they have? Scum of the earth. Sir, this needs to be done, and I'll put my name, number one guy that needs to be taken out. 𝗵𝗎 in Sindhu. In Sindh province, 𝗵𝗎 is number one guy I would put in this list. Whether Doval ji takes this list and acts on, it's up to him. But at least let us put some pressure on them. You are doing Opsindur too, take out all these things also. Let these people die every night. Sir, let's take some questions now, sir, if you don't mind.
Sure, Jay.
Let me see if I missed something out.
Ashri, what purpose?
Anyway, just 1 second, sir. My editor wants me don't give lists because then the video could be taken down. So I got a little hot under the collar. Ignore that part, viewers. Let's move on with questions. Srinivasan wants to know. Sir.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. This is where I think Modi's astuteness comes in. And this also shows India's strength. He believes that he needs to be present. India needs to be present. India needs to be at the table. India needs to be in dialogue. India needs to express the opinion to the world. So therefore, he is in BRICS and he is in SCO. So therefore, the BRICS, China was once upon a time a very passive player, the most passive in the sense in terms of their using might is right, as opposed to bringing these players from an economic perspective. Of course, Russia played a part in terms of making sure India is also at the table. Remember, the BRICS Infrastructure Bank, the first chairman for BRICS Infrastructure Bank was an Indian banker, okay? And also they have put significant amount of capital. So India is saying, I'm willing to play the game and I'm willing to be fair. I'm willing to go by the rules. But those guys who don't follow the rules, they get caught. But now, based on all the stuff that's happened in the last 2 months, starting from April, or last 3 months, the geopolitics has become so complicated and complex that we don't know where, when, what type of moves will happen. So I think until then, India will continue to stay and play its part.
Next one, please. Krishnamurthy Hunagun wants to know, if a two-state solution is on the agenda for discussions between Trump and Netanyahu, how would that reconcile with President Trump's past offer to take charge of Gaza? That's a shock. Sir.
Well, I think if anybody and everybody knows, I don't know whether he's desperate or whether he wants something. He's certainly trying for his Nobel Prize. So he is making all kinds of moves. Having setting aside that that comment, I would say that he feels that this is one of the things that has changed course. Previously, it was very clearly two paths. A lot of the Middle East, Arabic, Muslim were on the funding, were on the Democratic side, and then now you have many of them playing part on the Republican side as well. And they did, at least in 2 battleground states, help Trump to prevail. So he had told, even in the election campaign, that look, when I come back to power, I'll find a solution for you. So these people are calling their shots now, saying, hey, we need peace. Okay, tell us what a solution is, so we'll get a solution. So you have Trump going forward and backward. Now he's coming to a resolution. One of the other most significant players which has emerged in this equation is Qatar. Historically, it used to be Saudi Arabia, but now Qatar is playing a significant role in some of these developments and some of these things taking shape. Go back in time, Obama, we covered this again. Taliban, footprint in Qatar. Hamas, footprint in Qatar. Houthis, footprint in Qatar. Iranian footprint in Qatar. So every crook and every thug, ISIS footprint in Qatar. So Qatar is playing a part, and Qatar has given close to $1.6 trillion to President Trump and his party, including a plane, his presidential Air Force One plane they've given him.
Sir, to be fair, that discussion started during the Biden administration, sir.
Maybe once a fulfillment occurs, then all these kinds of transactions begin to happen. Qatar is the player. Okay, is the player playing, saying we need peace in Middle East. We cannot keep going. Go back a little later in the day, look at the press statements of President Trump. He's talking about peace in Middle East. He's talking about economic development in Middle East. It's not relevant for this today's, we will cover this topic in later. As we speak, there's an agreement that is being negotiated between Rwanda and Congo. Okay, the two African states which have been fighting for war eternally, and these warlords fighting. So there is going to be an announcement forthcoming, facilitated by Marco Rubio, between these two African nations, much to the dismay of the Chinese. So therefore, you are seeing lots and lots of these kinds of deals. And again, who is the player? Qatar.
Sir, thank you so much on that. And viewers, there's also a story coming out. One of the leading lawmakers of Lebanon has asked the Hezbollah to get out of his country. Now, how much heft he has, I don't know. Again, this is something that came on the social media. This actually his video. But then you can say, well, there can be AI morph videos. So that's why it's very, very preliminary. But Lebanon also is saying that they are tired of this Hezbollah. We'll wait and see what happens. Krishnamurthy, again, if a two-state solution is on the agenda, on the next one, sorry. Vishnu Gopi now, Indus Water Treaty seems to be boiling. Pak behind frustrated, provocative statements being used by Pakistan. Opsindur 2.0 coming soon?
I think that it is, something is going to trigger. But India has very clearly stated they have conducted exercises. They continue to be prepared and vigilant. They said that Operation Sindoor is not finished. It's active, and we will pursue as needed, anywhere, everywhere if you have to go. Even Minister for External Affairs, Jaishankar, has made a statement. We will go wherever we need to go to take out and uproot the terror infrastructure. So therefore, those who try to punish us, those who try to punish us will get harmed. Those who work with us will get benefit. This is his kind of statement in the last 24 to 48 hours. So therefore, I think that they will pursue. Is it imminent? No, I don't think India will not trigger something without an event.
Sir, something already happened yesterday, sir. A terrorist encounter in Udhampur area for the other Amarnath Yatra. They were trying to scuttle that one. One incident has already happened. We'll wait and see. Next one, please. Manofsan wants to know, how did Asim Munir visit to US affect Iran events? Has Pakistan upset China and lost the J35 deal? One question at a time, guys. First, how did Asim Munir visit to US affect Iran events?
We covered that already, which is that he has his people, and that person facilitated.
Sajid Tarar.
Yeah, it's facilitated the meeting.
Has Pakistan upset China? No, go back, please. Has Pakistan upset China and lost J35? Sir, according to you?
No.
Next one, why is Pakistan developing ICBM and will US allow it? There is a complete episode on that coming out on viewers on PGurus, but let Sridharji take that answer, that question, please.
Well, I think that the ICBM, whether will US allow it? I don't think US will. US has got Pakistan in a leash. We need to recognize most of the technology that Pakistan says it builds is stolen or given by either the Chinese or by the North Koreans or by some other country. So I will be shocked and surprised if they are capable under the present circumstances when they don't have the money to even fuel the planes until they receive the money that has been committed by IMF and World Bank. The nation is bankrupt. So whether they will have a program going without the money remains a big question mark. They are reliant on Pakistan for supplies. They are reliant on Turkey for supplies. And they are reliant on Chinese for the intelligence, not the Americans.
Last one. Go back, please. After Iran nuclear program hit, will Pakistan nuclear program be more vulnerable?
The message coming out from United States is that United States has given a very clear message both to Pakistan and to China. This is the message, at least the defense and the security circles are playing out. There was a message to be delivered, and the United States has delivered the message to both China and Pakistan.
Next one, please. Vasu Iyengar wants to know, sirs, how close is US to a trade deal with India? July deadline approaching and Trump claims close to a deal. Sir?
Well, I think that effectively India has conceded to most of the requirements, access to markets, etc. There are a couple of areas, especially around agro and farming, that seems to be a bottleneck. My indications are that they will have a deal by July 9th.
July 9th.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Geetanjali Rajaram wants to know, if US and China are going to come together over Iran-Israel problems, will this solve future Taiwan-Pakistan problem too?
No. Pakistan problem is very clear. Modi and everybody has said, we do not need United States. We do not need anybody. It's something that we can deal with. As far as Taiwan is concerned, it's a very, very tricky situation. Will China use this moment of weakness that United States has? Namely, United States is absolutely dependent on these rare earths to funnel and plow its defense industry. Many of the defense equipments require the Chinese supplies. And that is why Trump and his team are bending forwards and backwards to make sure that they can do a deal with the Chinese, having started with, kind of great fluster. So Taiwan, should China now take over Taiwan, according to Chinese, we are not taking over Taiwan. It's our country. So therefore, it's a dispute, but it's our country. And it's not a two-state. No nation in the world has recognized Taiwan as an independent nation. No nation, no country, including United States. They call it strategic ambiguity. So it's totally up to the Chinese to test the waters, push the envelope, and the indications are they will take over based on, talking to some of the Chinese friends. Indications are Taiwan will become part of China within 2 years.
Within 2 years, we will wait and see. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskara, do we know the real reason for temporary halt of Opsindur? IRG has given some info of the US side of the issue. So this is something that I released at 6 a.m. today, sir. Over to you.
Well, I think it's very clearly communicated. The Pakistan DGMO spoke and indicated that they have a real problem, and they asked for cessation of activities. India had by then achieved its objective of taking out all those terror, and they got the bonus of taking out their the Pakistani Air Force airfields. They had also bombed many of those nuclear sites. What is in those, we don't know. Yes, in those we don't know. And how much of Pakistan's uranium is enriched to weapon grade capable weapons. So the story is that it's still a big question mark. We saw what happened in Iraq. We have seen in several countries. There are only 2 countries in the world, or 3 countries in the world, or 4 countries in the world, or 5 countries in the world. We saw that in Russia and United States are the 2 big countries which basically say that they have and they can deal with it. They have fully developed nuclear weapons, but they've not tested. US has tested in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but Russia has not tested. This was feared even in Russia-Ukraine war, but it still has not, done anything stupid and silly. So to me, that the US side of the story is effectively that US claims, but even Trump has backpedaled. It is India's discretion. India chose to stop, but only pause. It has not stated that Operation Sindoor is complete, is in progress, and India retains the right to go after and launch. They are in a state of preparedness across all of the country.
Thank you so much, Sridharji. And that brings us to a close of today's program. I think that's it. Yeah. And we'll be back again with Sridharji very shortly. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.